Assalamualaikum everyone and welcome to our YouTube channel. And yes, today you see my slides and we are going to understand a little bit better for our Muslim scholar and in specific Ibnu Sina. So we are going to focus on his background, work, and contribution. But before I go on and dive a little bit more about Ibnu Sina, let's read a quote from him. All right, Ibnu Sina once said, "The knowledge of anything, since all things have causes, is not acquired or complete unless it is known by its cause." So basically, what he's trying to say is that if you want to understand anything, you should understand by its cause to completely understand the thing as a whole. Let me introduce you to our presenters for our video presentation, and we divide it by 4 categories. You can see in your slides. One, the background will be explained by me, Nasser Fahmi, and will join by brother Muhammad Farhan for his explanation about Ibn Sina's major works, and sister Aisha and Iman will talk a little bit about contribution and especially about human nature soul, and last but not least, overview or sort of a recap session with sister Aisha Humaira. So without any further ado, let's talk about his background, biography. So, in biography, I like to talk about his family. So, his father was Abdullah. He is an advocate of the Ismaili section, and he was from Balkh. And there was not much about Ibn Sina's mom, and only by her name Satire. And sadly, Ibn Sina didn't got a chance to marry. All right. Next, we're going to see his biodata. So, Ibn Sina, for his English name, he is called Avicenna, but in Arabic, his real name is Abu Ali Al Hussein Ibn Abdullah Ibn Sina. He was born in 980 near Bukhara, Iran, and died around 1057 Hamadan, Iran. So we're going to look at his early education. So if what interesting about Ibn Sina is that in the age of 10, Ibn Sina has already become a Quran Hafiz. And at the age of 14, he surpasses his teacher at the place where he cured Sultan of Bukhara at 16. And after that, he began his prodigious writing career at age 21. Talking about career, we're going to dive in about Ibn Sina career. So there was a multiple writings about what has Ibn Sina's done. In specifically, I would like to talk about in 3 places actually. Bukhara and Gurhan. He was actually an administrative post, and also he served Kabusan and also a successor of Manukir. And in Isfahan, he is a vizier of Ala al-Dawla. So without any further ado, I would like to pass to Brother Farhan for Ibn Sina's major works.
Okay, next I will talk about major works from Ibn Sina. There are two most famous or most well-known kitabs from Ibn Sina's work. The first one is Kitab al-Shifa, which is the book of healing. Kitab al-Shifa consists of 4 books dedicated to logic, natural philosophy, which is Tabi'iyats, mathematics, which is Riyadiyats, and metaphysics, which is Ilahiyats. The second one is Al-Kanun fi Tibb, which is the canons of medicine. Al-Kanun fi Tibb is made of 5 books in which medical questions are discussed. The topics in these books are description of the human body, constitution of the human body temperaments, physical capabilities, somatic diseases, hygiene, death, description of diseases that affect the whole body, and the final chapter is related to pharmacology. There are also other works from Ibn Sina, which is other kitabs, for example, Kitab al-Najat, which is the book of salvation, Kitab al-Isharat wa Tanbiyat, which is the book of directives and remarks. Kitab al-Hidayah, which is the book of guidance. Uyun al-Hikmah, which is the fountain of wisdom. Al-Mabda wal Ma'ad, which is the beginning and ends, and many more. Okay, that's it from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you for listening.
So, what we're going to talk about is one of Ibn Sina's many contributions, which is his seven inner senses. The seven inner senses first start from the five outer senses, or rather, as the five senses of perception as we know it. These senses act on the object that you are currently observing. For example, this dancing cat, which you can use your sight to see, is playing on the cymbals, so you can use your hearing to perceive it to be loud. Now, if you were to touch the cat, you would feel that the cat is soft from the fur. And if you were to smell the cat, its fur would probably be stinky. Now, if you were to hypothetically taste the cat, its fur will probably be salty. These senses provide information to our minds to analyze and retain. According to Ibn Sina, the soul has no physical form, so it has no attachment to the body physically. However, there is still a metaphysical connection between the soul and body. This led to the formation of the theory of the seven inner senses, which complement the outer senses by processing the information received. According to Ibn Sina, these senses are common sense, retentive imagination, compositive animal imagination, compositive human imagination, memory, and processing.
Next, I will talk about the description of Ibn Sina's seven senses. The first sense is common sense. This sense collates the information gathered by the external senses. The second sense is retentive imagination. This sense remembers the information gathered by the common sense. The third sense is compositive animal imagination. This sense allows all animals to learn what they should avoid and what they should actively seek in their natural environment. To use Ibn Sina's famous example, a sheep can form a generalized wolf image from its past unpleasant experiences of wolves. In this way, a present perception of a wolf can scare it even though it has never seen that particular image of that particular wolf before. The fourth sense is compositive human imagination. This sense helps humans to learn what to avoid and what to seek in the world around them. The fifth sense is estimative power. This is the ability to make innate judgments about the surrounding environment and determine what is dangerous and what is beneficial. The sixth sense is memory. The memory is responsible for remembering all of the information developed by the other senses. And the seventh sense is processing. This is the ability to use all of the information and is the highest of the seven internal senses. So that's it from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you for listening.
We have come to the end of our presentation. On that note, let's overview what we have learned so far. Recap. What were the seven inner senses? I'll give some time for you to think it through. Did you manage to get them all? Let's see what the seven inner senses are. First one is common sense. Next is retentive imagination. Third one is compositive animal imagination, compositive human imagination, estimative power, memory, and last but not least, processing. Let's also have a recap on the theory of the soul. As mentioned above, despite the soul having no bounds to the body as it is not physical, there are the seven inner senses which allows the connection between the body and the soul through the use of the five outer senses. What were the 5 outer senses? Do you remember? The 5 outer senses include sight, touch, hearing, taste, and smell. How does this work? Through the use of all 5 outer senses, the 7 inner senses are able to function by firstly, collection of the information from said outer senses, then retaining that memory, afterwards, learn what to avoid or to seek. Next is being capable of judging whether or not it is dangerous, thus remembering the information collected, and finally, processing by using all of the information. The final overview. Ibn Sina was a product of the rich intellectual, cultural, and scientific ferment that swept the Islamic world. He created a complete philosophical system in the Arabic language. Among the great sages of Islamic medicine, Ibn Sina is the best known in the West. That is all from our group today. Thank you for listening and thank you for your time.